Okay, here's another quick tip for writing blog posts. So if you don't want to use the WordPress backend, if you don't want to use this area here in order to write your blog post just by hand, you can always use an outside editor. So for instance, if your favorite is Microsoft Word, you can use Microsoft Word. And then all you have to do is, as you write it, edit it, do everything you need to do, and then you can copy, and then simply paste it in. Now, Word has done a much better job lately of taking away all the extraneous little things that it adds whenever it brings into WordPress, and WordPress has also worked alongside Microsoft Word to make this an easier and much more simple process. If you're using an old version of Word and it looks fine here, or maybe it looks like there's some strangeness going on, if you click the text button, the text is the underlying code. You can tell because the actual font changes. This is the underlying code of your website, of the WordPress page. And whenever you look at it, there may be something like, this is called a div tag, and it'll usually be at the beginning and the end of a paragraph like this. If you see div tags, or if you see a lot of what are called paragraph tags whenever you go into the text part, you can look here. So you can see there's kind of some funkiness going on. There's no line here created. And so if you see something like that, it doesn't look exactly like it should, click on the text, and then if you go back through and you just highlight these extraneous tags and you delete them, you can add a space, and then you can see that it comes back to form. So what you want is no tags on this part, the visual part. You also want it to just be clean text on this part here. So if you wind up with some tags, just erase them and you'll find out that it will come out looking like it's supposed to. Let's see what it looks like in form. So you can see it's just a regular form here. Now, there are other image editor or other writing text editors you could use. You could use Notepad, which just comes with Windows, or if you're on a Mac, Mac has its own default text editor. So it's just a simple plain text editor. You could type it all in here and then just copy, and then you go back in and you can paste, right? Again, if it looks a little funny, which it should not, through a rich text editor like that, you can just go through and remove any tags that are there. And then the last one, let's say you wanted to take something from a PDF file. You can even copy straight from a PDF. So paste this, and then you can paste from a PDF. Now you see this is not exactly how it should be, right? So what you need to do, there's nothing wrong here. There's no extra tags or anything. It just leaves it a little short for some reason whenever you do a PDF. So if you just delete, you can bring each line back around by going to the end of the line and just pulling the line in front of it back up and just creating some space. And then where there are paragraphs, it's going to run all together. So you just have to be a little bit more careful. Oh, miss a line. Okay, so now we have it, and then when you look at the paragraph as a preview, it won't have all the broken lines at the end. Okay, so that's the full paragraph of text that we actually imported from the PDF file. So those are three different ways: using Notepad, using Word, or using a PDF. Now, if you're using some other type of editor, or if you're using an older text editor, again, if you see something funny here, click on the text, see if there are any extra tags that are actually in the back end in the code, and then remove those tags. So that's how to, when you're writing a blog post or when you're writing for pages, you can use basically any editor, including here in the window, but If you use an outside editor and you import, just make sure uh, that you get rid of those tags through the text page or through the text tab, because that'll give you a truer sense of what you're actually importing if you see anything funny here. All right, thanks, and stay tuned for more quick little tips for how to maintain your website yourself.